Alrighty, well, welcome back, viewers. This is Sports Overserved again on the Newsbake Live Facebook feed. I've got Phil over here with me. Phil, how you doing?
What's up? What's up, Cowboy Nation?
Hey, make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're commenting because we are giving away Cowboys tickets live on the show today. All you got to do, we're going to be talking about the Cowboys record here in a little bit. We're giving our predictions and everything. Put your prediction in the comment section below the video, and we're going to pick one lucky winner for 2 Cowboys tickets to the Houston Texans game on September 1st. So, Phil, you went to game 2.
Yep.
Of the preseason.
Yeah.
Tell me how the experience was. How was the feel of the game?
It was pretty good. I went with my brother and my 5-year-old son. So anytime you take a kid to a game, there's always that uncertainty of what's gonna happen. But he did well.
Did he make it through the whole game?
He did. We left pretty much I think midway through the fourth quarter just to get a jump on traffic. But he's a huge Des Bryant fan, so all he's looking for is 88. Where's 88 at? And he's trying to throw up the X. One of the things that was really cool. Because I took him last year and Des didn't score a touchdown, but Des scored a touchdown this time, and they showed him on the Jumbotron and throwing up the X, so we got to throw up X's as a family, so it was pretty cool, pretty fun game atmosphere, and of course we got to see Dak in action and Romo in action, so that's always a fun time.
Well, where do you want to start? You want to start with Romo and see what Romo did? So the first series was just kind of a throwaway because of all the penalties. What was there? 3 holding penalties just on the first one. And then he got his legs back a little bit and he got to actually play on the second drive. And how do you think he looked?
He looked comfortable. The line held up, right? So Chaz Green played left tackle. You didn't have Tyron Smith. So that was a concern for me, is having that Dolphins D-line come at Romo. But he actually took a shot, I think, by Sue or someone, tackled him kind of low. And I was kind of anxious to see, hey, make sure he got up, make sure he was good. But he looked really good back there. He went to his blanket, which is, Jason Witt in his comfort zone. Had a couple good throws. I think it was 4 for 5, 49 yards. And I think he led on that second drive, 72-yard touchdown drive. And he looked good. He had 107.5 quarterback rating. And on the standalone quarterback performance, you're really happy. And then obviously Dak comes in. But for Romo, I think that's what you want from him. He played against the starting defense, looked sharp, looked poised, almost midseason form. Didn't have any close calls from an interception standpoint. I like what I saw. I think he maybe only needs another quarter and a half, and I think he's ready to roll 9-11.
I think he is too. So let's transition back into Dak now, because Dak's kind of the big story of the preseason so far because he's been doing so good. And I want people out there to calm the Jets a little bit because because he's not going to be the starting quarterback this year or next year, okay? Yeah. Unless Romo goes down. Yeah. So people are touting this up like, oh, he's amazing. Hold on, this is going to be more of an Aaron Rodgers role for the first 2, maybe 3 seasons, which I think is good because he's got a great quarterback to learn from, and that's what you need. Like I was saying with Aaron Rodgers, or when Dante Culpepper did it with Randall Cunningham back in 2000. Yeah. That's when you want to see these good things happening, but again, realize that, hey, he's still learning. He's still learning, so don't, people are, oh, they should put Romo out, Dak's doing something. No. Well, this is preseason football. They're not trying 100% on these, but he is doing good, and he was impressive. One of the things that I like that he kept confidence in Swaim. Yeah. After Swaim had 2 drops, his only 2 incompletions were to Swaim last week, or week 1 of the preseason, and he kept confidence in him. He threw back at him. Swaim caught him this time, which was good. And it's very obvious that Dak studies his playbook. Yeah. Because he knows where the right man to hit is, and he goes through his progression, and he can find the open man. He did get helped out a little bit by some mistakes by the defense. Yeah. He had 2 should have been interceptions. One was called back from a questionable roughing the passer call. And then the other one was dropped. Whitehead broke it up a little bit. But the receivers feel comfortable with him. He gets everybody involved, which, isn't, there's some drives where you're going to have to hit Dez no matter what. But you want receivers to be happy because when receivers are happy, they block for running backs. Yeah. And they don't yell at the quarterback when they come back and, hey, I was open, because he's passing the ball around. He's hitting open people instead of trying to throw them in tight windows to get into the superstar.
But I think I want to go back to something you said, Matt. I know the excitement around how you hit no matter where you go. If you go to the store, You go to work, everyone's talking about Dak. And I think part of the excitement is the fact that when was the last time we drafted any quarterback that had any kind of decent talent? And for us to finally draft a quarterback, and keep in mind, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and I called it. I said, I think he's going to progress enough in the preseason, and this is when Kellen Moore was still healthy, to overtake Kellen Moore. So I knew that he had potential. Did I think he was going to play at this level? No. And I think that's what people are so excited. I mean, he literally played a perfect game from a QBR standard, right? 153.8 or 153.4. No, 153.8, I believe, or 4. It was perfect. And, I mean, you have every reason to be excited from a fan base because, you know what, it's not just, you're right, it's not just about this year and next year. Me and my brother were talking during the game. Like, we're watching him, we're like, dude, we may get to see this guy play for the next decade. And I think that's kind of the excitement level. If you really think that he should overtake Romo this year, if somebody really thinks that, keep in mind, he's playing against base defenses, a vanilla scheme, and he should perform pretty decent, right, in that environment. So, I see the excitement. I embrace the excitement. I can see why Cowboy Nation is excited. I'm excited because you know what? If Romo goes down, the season is not gone. Because for two reasons. Number one, we have a fighting chance with Dak. I believe so, even though it's a vanilla defense or he's playing against vanilla defense. But the fact is, if he gets hurt, we're going to be competitive, and also we're going to develop this guy. He's our developmental project. He's our long-term solution, so he's going to get reps. And so both reasons, it's exciting for the Dallas Cowboy fan base. So I'll get off my my Dak soapbox, but the excitement, I'm happy. It's fine that we finally drafted a good quarterback.
The one thing he needs to work on, though, is his deep ball, because he did hit a deep receiver, but it was short and a good defense. But, I mean, if that's the one thing that we're saying about our rookie backup quarterback is he needs one thing that he really needs to work on, that's perfect.
Well, let's just put it in perspective. I'll get off Dak for sure. His quarterback grade in the first 2 weeks is higher than Goff and wins combined.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be excited about, and hopefully he keeps progressing. We're going to see a big test, obviously, Thursday against the Legion of Boom. Hopefully he gets some second quarter reps against that defense. I really like to see it perform under that pressure in that crowd. So.
Yeah. Well, the big news, at least today, is Dez had a concussion.
Yes,
and so,
yeah.
But it came out today. We're hearing about it. Him and Church got wrapped up or something, but he's not going to be playing. I think that's kind of a good thing to give Dez a little bit more rest. Just say, hey, take a couple of weeks off, come back September 11th ready to go. Our receiving core is, we'll take care of it for the preseason because it doesn't matter. We're just getting reps in. But the receivers, not a lot to talk about. Alfred Morris impressed me. He impressed me in the second game. The first game, I told you, it was just he was consistent and everything. He looked good. Mm-hmm. There's something, he could have broke a couple away, but he was getting yard after yard after yard. He was hitting the hole fast, which is what he always does. He doesn't dance around, so he's going to get into the hole that our amazing offensive line is going to create for him.
Yeah.
And this brings, now Zeke's going to be back for the Seahawks. It's going to be the first time we see him in a Cowboys uniform playing. It's an exhibition game, but he's still going to be playing. Dunbar's back. McFadden, who knows when he'll be back.
And Darius Jackson
looked good, too. He is fast.
He is.
Going down the sideline, he looks good. McFadden needs to be gone. We got to figure out something. We got to figure out when his trade value is the highest and get rid of him. Put something on defense.
Yeah.
Get something on the line or the linebacker or something.
Yeah.
What do you...
Well, I think we need to get him healthy, right? I think you're right. We need to get his trade value up, and him being on the pup right now, not able to play or practice. I think once he has it, and people, it's an elbow injury, so it's not going to have a long-term effect. But I think people want to see him and see what he still can do. He's still a year older than he was last year, even though he had a great year last year. But people want to see him, and I think if he can get in the Houston game, which is not likely. But maybe in the first, I don't think a trade's going to happen before the season. But hopefully, maybe early in the season, especially if we lose someone on the defensive side, another body or someone even on the offensive side that we need some extra depth. But you're right. Where does he go on the depth chart? It's all booked up. I mean, you have to consider secondary options, or you have to straight up release them. And I don't think the Cowboys want to do that. Because, you can try to sneak like a Darius Jackson through the practice squad, but he's shown too much where someone's going to pick him up. So you're kind of limited in what you have unless you want to take all those backs on the roster, on the 53-man roster, which I certainly don't want to.
Yeah, we definitely. There's going to be some cuts. I know there's going to be some cuts in wide receiver, people we've seen for a while.
Yeah.
You were talking about Bryce Butler probably taking a spot. Who's he going to...
Oh, I mean, Devin Street will be on the street. Mark my words. Devin Street is gone. Bryce Butler showed he solidified that spot. So you think about it, you got obviously Dez, you got Terrence Williams, you have Beasley, you have Bryce Butler, you have Lucky Whitehead. I mean...
And Lucky's been looking good. He's going to be returning kicks, so he's got a spot.
And I don't see the Cowboys taking 6 receivers on the 53, so he's not going to make the team, and there's no reason. If you're going to use it, if you're going to have an extra spot on a receiver depth chart, or the running back depth chart, use that spot, obviously, for the running back and keep McFadden. But Devin Street, unless he has a crazy last 2 games, then he's gone. Bryce Butler won that position battle, or that won that job, and it's pretty clear cut to me.
Well, that's what preseason is all about, is getting your roster spot. So let's transition back into defense now. But before we do, remember, keep commenting. We're going to go over defense. Comment what you think the Cowboys record is going to be this year, because we're going to be giving away the tickets in about 20 minutes live on the show. So make sure you comment. But defense impressed me again.
Yes.
So it was like what Alfred Morris did on the offensive side of the ball. The defense impressed. They had a push.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the backfield. The line of scrimmage, we moved it back.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do as a defensive line. You don't always have to get tackles, yards. You need to give it a little bit of push so you can at least give your linebackers room to move and room to get around the other blockers so they can make the tackles. D-line's not always a glory position, especially the interior D-line is definitely not a glory position. What you're doing is trying to take on 2 blocks instead of 1 so somebody's freed up behind you, and they did that. And the interior line looked really good. The Crawford, we call them the Crawford brothers and not brothers, but both Crawfords look good.
Yeah.
Especially Jack Crawford, getting some playing time.
Yeah.
Tyrone, we knew was going to be who he was last year.
And we talked about Jack Crawford. He gives us some flexibility playing in the interior and defensive end. And he may start at defensive end at the beginning of the season until Lawrence gets back, Tapper, someone else gets healthy. And that little corner of our defense with the Crawford brothers are not related, but that's what I call that's a really strong unit. Our interior line is slowly becoming a strength. And I wouldn't have said that even a month ago, but you have the pickup of Chanel Jenkins, which he's played great. He's played great. He's had, 2 sacks in back-to-back games. I think he has some little hamstring issue that may keep him out of Thursday's game. But our interior line is slowly becoming a strength.
I'm not going to say a strength, but it's slowly becoming not a weakness.
No, I'm going to go on a limb, Matt.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's becoming. The ends. I'm still. There's a lot of concern there, but in the interior line, we have some strong. We have McLean, we have Crawford, we have. And obviously Chanel Jenkins, but we have some young talent there where I think we can get some push and a consistent push where we have a rotation of about 4 or 5 guys just going in, fresh bodies. And wrecking havoc in there. So one of the things I did want to mention on the first couple of drives, on that second drive where we had a goal line stand, it was nice to see Scandrick and Claiborne in position to get a turnover on downs with the Miami Dolphins when it looked like they were going to score. There was no doubt they were going to score. And, Claiborne just had a huge play, and Scandrick had a pretty decent play. So those are the kind of plays that matter in tight games when we didn't make the stop, when no one came up and made the play. Claiborne is making those plays now. You know what? We talked about Devin Street losing his job. I'm not saying Carr's going to be cut or anything crazy like that, but Carr, he may not be starting. And in my opinion, what I've seen, he's the 3rd best cornerback on this defense, and it's not even close. And that's with Scandrick rehabbing that ACL and getting comfortable with that. So there's a lot to be happy about this defense. There's a lot going well in this defense. Now, are we going to be a top 10 defense? No, we're not. But we just need this defense to be mediocre. And I think we're well on our way.
We are on our way. And the one thing, the goal line stand looked great and everything. But I do want to remind fans out there watching, we were playing the Dolphins. Okay? A good team is going to score there. Now, but that's what you got to do. You're not going to always be playing good teams in the season either. We've got a little bit of a cake schedule, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit, where we're going to have to make goal line stands and take advantage of dumb decisions by a coach where they're going for it in the first quarter, inside when you're not going to grab the points. And Mo Clay, he's on a 1-year contract. He's going to be looking for a contract at the end of the year, so he knows he's got to play well to get a better contract than he got this year. I think he's only getting a few million a year for this year.
Yeah.
He's going to want more than that, especially at cornerback position. You can make a lot of money, and if he doesn't show out good this year, he's going to get that same kind of contract. It might be a little bit longer, but that's why he signed for 1 year, so he could make more money down the road. He's like, I believe he's betting on himself. He's saying, just give me a 1 year contract. I'm going to prove to everybody in the NFL, whether the Cowboys want to resign me or not, that I'm going to be able to make between $5 and $10 million a year, and that's going to be good for him. So that's going to be exciting. The one, J.J. Wilcox got burned by Kenny Stills.
Yeah, he did.
Burned, and he's not going to start, but he's going to be in some packages. And when your position title is safety, well, that means you got to be back as far as you can, because if you get burnt, you're going to Yeah, I mean you're going to be a top 10 Sports Center play on the wrong side of it. And you never want to hear that when you're a defensive player. I mean, unless you're getting a pick six, if you hear da-na-na and you're a DB, it's because you got burned by Kenny Stills.
Yeah, and Kenny's not a world beater there. But JJ just does enough with the big hits, plays at the line of scrimmage where you kind of buy into him. But it's so many times in, and I'll go back to the 2014 season in the NFC round against Green Bay, where he just gets burned by Davante Adams, just a horrible bad angle on him. And you would think that he's learned from himself in bad situations. If you replay, I mean, Kenny Stills doesn't make any move. He just goes straight up the field. Like, dude, he's coming right at you. What are you thinking?
I think he bit on the run because it was play action. So I was like, "You're a safety."
But don't worry about I know, but his impact is closer to the line of scrimmage where he makes these big hits. He had even a big hit in the game against the Rams on that receiver. Like, he's all about big hits. He's not disciplined enough to stay in his spot, see where Kenny Stills is going, and Kenny Stills just blows by him.
And you can tell in that. I mean, at best, it was a cover 1D where he's got to be back, but it looked like man. And if you're in man, you can't go after the run. No. You can't, because
this is like 101 stuff. What is he doing?
He's just like it wasn't a touchdown.
And that is a concern for me. Is what if Barry or God forbid Byron, just something happened to one of those two guys? We're relying on Wilcox again, and he's gonna make a couple good plays here and there. But when you need him the most, just like we did in the playoffs against Green Bay, he's gonna get burned by Davante Adams, which isn't a world beater either.
Now I'm gonna get off the Cowboys for 1 second because I'm a Red Raider, guns up out there. And Jakeem Grant on the Dolphins, he returned a couple punts and kicks. He looked good. He was fast. He was fun to watch it. And Lubbock, he was always, he's just the little receiver that Tech always has, and just going in and out. So it was fun to see him. Red Raiders, if anybody's listening, you got to watch a little bit of that when you watch the Cowboys. The one last thing I want to talk about with the Cowboys, before we get into seeing how they're going to do this year, or how we think they're going to do, is this the first time since Jerry's owned the team that we have a good character team? We don't have the TOs. We don't have, people getting arrested everywhere. We did have a couple of suspensions, and we got fined for that. But it looks like those guys aren't, besides DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys aren't going to be on the team anymore.
Yeah. And even him, DeMarcus Lawrence, is all about looking ahead and doing what's right. So, yeah.
He admitted he had a mistake. Yeah. And even people we picked up, Alfred Morris is a great guy. He worked in the community when he was in Washington, and now it looks like he's going to be an asset, not just to the Cowboys, but to the city of Dallas or the DFW area. And I think that's important, because if you don't have to worry about people off the field, and the head coach doesn't have that headache of, well, who are we going to get to play with this week? Because, somebody's going to get suspended for doing something stupid. Somebody's going to go steal underwear and cologne from Parks Mall.
And I think that's by design. And let's go back to Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, and even after our last show last week, we had a lot of feedback from our listeners, and we appreciate it, about Greg Hardy. Should we re-sign Greg Hardy? Should we not? We're not going to re-sign Greg Hardy. Let me tell you why. Because he's a distraction. He's a cancer to this team. And I think it's by design we don't have guys like that anymore. Because I'd rather take a flyer on a young guy who's committed to the team, who has a great work ethic, that doesn't have the attitude or the baggage that a Greg Hardy does. Yes, Greg Hardy is decent. But keep in mind, he only, had 6 sacks for the whole season. So it's not like he had 20 sacks. And I think for us, it's about time that maybe Jason Garrett slowly but surely is having an impact with Jerry and Steven and saying, I don't want to coach these guys. You're putting me in a difficult situation on Sundays and during the week when we're practicing to get through some of these guys, when I have these older guys and these vets that that have all this baggage and are undermining me.
Yeah.
And I think it's by design. I think it's time they cleaned house.
Yeah, he's a head coach. He's not a babysitter.
Yeah, and Greg Hardy, and I was for the Greg Hardy signing last year, but it was obvious when he's slapping a clipboard out of a coach's hand against the Giants. That's a distraction, and we don't need that. We're not talented enough on defense to need those kind of distractions.
We aren't. So, are you? I mean, we're gonna guess. We're gonna guess what we think is gonna happen this year.
Okay.
So we're gonna go week by week. Okay. So week one,
Mm-hmm.
and then just before we get into anything, I'm just gonna guess what I think Phil's got him going 12-4 because Phil's big homer. So Phil, I'm just thinking you got him going 12. I haven't seen Phil's list yet.
Wait, can I have a disclaimer too before it gets? Because I know. Okay, we're not. It's not going to be 16-0, right? We can't pick the Cowboys every game. So I'm trying to look realistically. What games are we going to win? What games are we going to lose? And trying to give an honest opinion.
Yeah.
And since you can't go 17-0 in a 16-game season, I didn't do 17-0, Matt.
Okay, you didn't think we were gonna win on the bye week?
No.
I mean, we did last year. Every team lost when we had a bye, so
Yeah.
you can win on a bye week, but not technically. But let's start week one. Week one, we're gonna be there tailgating from 9:00 in the morning. The game's at 3:25 our time.
Mm-hmm.
New York Giants coming to Jerry's World.
Yes.
Are we winning or losing?
We're winning that game, and the only reason I say that is we've shown in the last couple of seasons, New York used to be able to. They won 3 or 4 straight at the Death Star, and now they can't beat us here. And we played them a couple of times. The last 2 times we played them in the first game of the season, we beat them. And I just think we're a better team. So.
Okay, I've got us winning that too. I don't see us starting out this season with everything that happened last season. I think we're just going to be, Jerry's even going to be talking to players like, guys, last season is behind us. We got to go out and win and start new. But then we're traveling to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Washington,
Mm-hmm.
they have a Monday night game before, so they have a little bit of a short week coming in to week 2. So what do you have for Washington?
So don't throw anything at your phones or iPads. I have us losing that game, and let me tell you why. The last couple of years, even the great year of 2014, where we were 12-4, we split with the Redskins, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna split with the Redskins. I guess it kind of gives away my Thanksgiving game, but I think we're gonna lose one of the 2 games, and my gut tells me we're not gonna lose on Thanksgiving after 4 days of rest, and they have to travel here. So I think we're gonna win. So I have the Cowboys losing week 2.
Okay, so I do too. So I hope we don't come out exactly the same every time. But I have us losing just because, you do have to give a little bit of props to last year's NFC East. It was a bad NFC East, but they did win it.
Yeah.
And I just got us losing that one.
I could easily see us winning that game, maybe losing, but I'm just going to go by the last couple of years we split with them. And I think we'll split again.
Okay, so week 3, we're coming back home. We're playing the Bears.
The Bears.
I've got us winning this game.
Yeah.
They're coming off a Monday night too, and they're not as high quality of a team as Washington. Who knows which Cutler's going to come and play us here, but I've got us winning that game.
I'll tell you this. On this game, I thought about twice, because I think 3 out of the last 4 times we played the Bears, they beat us, and they beat us handily. It was the last time we played them, I think, on a Thursday night in Chicago. We were up big, they came back, but we wound up winning. But I think we're just a better team. I think it's time we beat them here in Dallas.
Okay.
And I'm not sure we beat the Bears. And y'all comment maybe if you know this, but I'm not sure we beat Chicago at home in our new stadium. So it's time. It's time.
It is time. So week 4, we're back on the road. We're playing San Francisco. Who knows who they're going to be playing at quarterback? I mean, Kaepernick will probably start out the year. They might even be by week 4 having the 3rd quarterback starting. But this is an easy. If we lose this game, this is trouble for us. But we got to win this game. So I've got us at 3-1 at this point. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always tough on the road, but with this running team, I think we're going to be an excellent road team. I see us swiping San Francisco up this game.
Okay.
So I have us 3-1 as well.
So we're both 3-1. We got to get some differences here.
Okay.
So week 5, we're playing Cincinnati. The Red Rifle is coming back. He's going to be playing. I don't think he's ever played here.
He's ever played here. We played him
TCU.
there. Yeah, we played him there.
So I have unfortunately got us losing. The reason is they have a week and a half to prepare for us because they play on a Thursday the week before against Miami, which they're probably going to be looking forward to us before Miami because Miami ain't going to do anything this year. But I think they got us. I mean, they got a good offense and a good defense, so I got a loss right there.
Matt, I have the same. I have the same as you. what scares me about this team is I think we play better on the road. I think we play better on the road. A good team coming here scares me, but it's just our home record against good teams where we should win this game. We can easily win this game, but I have us losing. I have us losing.
Yeah, I see a fourth quarter drive.
Yeah, it's going to be
guy,
really close. And it can go either way. Yeah.
So then we're going, now we got to travel back to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay, last time we were in Green Bay, Des caught it. But this time, maybe a little bit different. What do you think is going to happen in Green Bay?
Well, let me tell you this. Out of our great history of Dallas Cowboys football, we've only won in Green Bay one time. And that was in 2009. Or, I'm sorry, 2008. 2008 on a Sunday night game. Yeah. We went up to Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers was young playing, and we beat them. But we're not going to beat them this time because we never went up there. We've played them 2 or 3 times since then, and I just have us lose. I know we play great on the road. It's going to be a great game. And again, I'll say it'll be really close. But the fact that we've only won there once in our history scares me. I know that has nothing to do with the current team, but it's a tough place to win, and I have us losing.
Well, we don't have any differences going into bye week because I have us losing in Green Bay too, and it doesn't have to do as much with the history of Green Bay and Dallas and us only winning there once, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and he doesn't lose at home very much. Unless he's out, I don't see us winning there. So we're both going into the bye at 3-3. So seventh week we got a bye. Do you have us losing in the bye week?
No.
No, me neither. Okay, good. So then we come home to Philly. Okay, so we're playing Philly in Jerry's World. What's happening when we play Philly?
Well, so you got to keep in mind we have 2 losses in my mind right here, and we're going into the bye.
3.
No, or 2 losses back to back. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Back to back losses. We go into the bye, and we're gonna annihilate the Eagles. We're gonna kill them. I think this game is on a Sunday night game, and we're gonna have the momentum. Everyone's gonna be crazy, and I'm pretty sure it's a Sunday night game, and we're gonna win this game. And I think we win big this game.
Yeah. Philly sucks. So, I mean, that was an easy pick. That was one of the easiest picks. It was week 8. We're going to beat Philly. So, we're going to be 4-3. And then we travel to Cleveland.
Yes.
Okay? And probably seeing RG3 for the first time since he's not been in the division because he just left Washington and went to Cleveland. I've got us beating RG3 again.
Yeah. Yeah, I have us. I think it's another game where we mop them up. Easy win for us. I have us winning that week.
Easy win. Okay.
So we're not.
I know we're at 5-3. Both of us 5-3, and not even any differences. This is boring, Philip. We gotta get some differences. So now we're going to Pittsburgh, and when I say we're going to Pittsburgh, the Cowboys are going to Pittsburgh, but so are me and Phil.
Yeah.
We got about 8 of us going to Pittsburgh. We got us all in the same section. We're gonna be having fun, getting in there Saturday, leaving Monday morning, and I've got a loss here.
I have us a loss too. Pittsburgh's. This one I thought about a lot, and I can easily. It's going to be a shootout. Like their defense is very rough. Our defense is very rough. We have 2 great offenses. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be close. It's going to be an exciting game. I see it going either way, but you got to give it to the home team here. But I don't have us losing very much after this. I'll say that.
Okay. So Pittsburgh, if you are going to the Pittsburgh game, we're going to be in section 516. We're going to be cheering like crazy. But then we come home and play Baltimore. Okay? Are we winning or losing against Baltimore?
I have a win.
You have a win? I have a win too.
Okay.
And one of those is they've got another Thursday night. They've got a week and a half to prepare. They're playing Cleveland, which is a division game. They'll be roughed up a little bit. But Baltimore didn't prove anything to us last year. They looked terrible, and they didn't make a lot of sense. Let's go to the next week. So Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday, against Washington.
Yes.
We're going to win.
Yeah, and I kind of gave that away earlier. Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win one of those 2 games, if not both, the earlier games. So I still, if we'll get to my final, and I'll give a over-under there. But we're going to win Thanksgiving.
Okay. I think so, too. Then we go on the road, okay? And we're playing the Vikings up in Minnesota. Okay? I've got us losing to the Vikings. I've got us losing to the Vikings. As the line and the linebackers and everything, Adrian Peterson's still Adrian Peterson. and I think they're just going to cut us up. It's not an easy place to win. Minnesota always plays a little bit better at home. I think we're going to lose there in the Minnesota.
Yeah, I have us winning this game, and let me tell you why. It's because we're playing Thursday, and then we're playing the next Thursday. So, and I don't think, if I can recall,
they play Detroit, so they're playing on.
Okay,
yeah.
But I think the road hump that I have, or that we have with Green Bay, we lose to Green Bay. In my opinion, we lose to Pittsburgh. I think we go up to Minnesota. I think we're a slightly better team on them offensively. I know they're better than us defensively.
Okay.
I think we have our defense doing a lot better. But I have us beating the Vikings, and the Vikings that's going to be a big win, right? If we go on the road and that's in their new stadium, US Bank Field or whatever they call it. But I have us winning that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got a little bit of difference. So
yes.
I'm at 7-5 right now. You're at 8-5 or 8-4. Sorry. Then we go and we got to play at MetLife.
Yes.
We got to play the Giants, and I don't see us sweeping.
Yeah.
So I've got a loss here.
Okay.
And we usually do pretty well at MetLife, and I just don't see us winning. I see a loss there, unfortunately.
We do. Romo is a MetLife killer. He balled out, and he's gonna ball out again. We're gonna sweep the Giants. Giants suck. And we're a better team than them. This is December football. And I said, guys, be patient with me. The record's going to get a lot better. And the reason I say that is we're going to be by this time, we are going to be the best running team in football. You know what good running teams do in December? They run the ball all over defenses, control the clock. Romo's a killer in that stadium. He plays amazing. We're going to kill the Giants. I know we lost last year, but we don't have Castle at the helm. And we almost won that game. It was a really close game, but we're going to win that game.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to beat the Giants.
So we got split on that. So you are at, what, 9-4?
4, yeah.
Okay. So then we come home and we play Tampa. Cakewalk.
Yes.
I mean, this is going to be such an easy, this is almost, it's an early Christmas present that we get to play Tampa. We're going to win at home. You got to win too?
Yes, December. I'm telling you, once December hits, this team I think is going to be on all cylinders.
Romo is good in December.
He is, and this team I know when it comes to running ball, and I know we're going to be playing at home, and the conditions are going to be an impact. But Tampa sucks. We have a great running team, and I don't have any concerns about that.
Well, we play again the day after Christmas. We got a Monday night game, and we play another team that sucks, and the Detroit Lions, and they have no Megatron anymore. So I don't know what Matt Stafford's going to do because he used to be able to just play around back there, throw up a jump ball, and Megatron would catch it. He doesn't have that anymore. So I've got to win there on a Monday night, our only Monday night game of the year, which is kind of weird. But Monday night, what do you think's happening here against Detroit?
We're going to kill them. We're going to win. Yeah,
okay.
I'm telling you, we're on a roll now. We're on a roll. We're peaking at the right time in my mind.
Week 17, last game of the year. We're playing in Philly. I've got us winning.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. We have the misconception is this team for Romo, at least since Romo's been here, is that we don't finish strong. We suck in December. Blah blah blah. We proved that wrong in 2014. We showed that we can win in December. I think we were 3-1 or 4-1. In my opinion, we're going to sweep December. December is a favorable schedule for the Cowboys, and I see us sweeping December. And my final record I have is 12-4. That's more than enough to win the East. The only way that I had 11-5 here because in case they may lose to Philly, only because if there's no advantage for us to keep playing and win that game and resting our starters and getting ready for wild card week or for the bye week, that's the only way I see us losing that game or having one loss in December. But I think we finished strong. And if Dak's starting at quarterback, we'll probably still be Philly. so I have us finishing 12-4.
Yeah, so I guess I figured you'd have a 12-4 year for us. I got 10-6, but that's still enough to make the playoffs. You've got us probably taking a bye week. But the good thing about mine, since we're both season ticket holders, is we'll get to see a home game in the Wild Card Stadium.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Hopefully, if I think your record or my record's enough to win the East, which is enough to host a playoff game. But my record, we may be able to sneak past the wild card round, and I could see maybe us and Carolina hosting those divisional round games, which would be amazing because we're only one win away from playing Carolina or whoever on that other side. No, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but that would be exciting.
Yeah, Jerry, I prepaid for my playoff tickets, so let's get a home game so we can go. I went when we played Detroit a couple years ago.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold in January, yes. We had heaters. It was cold at that wild card game.
Oh, like tailgating outside.
Yeah.
I was like, they had the roof closed.
No, I know.
It felt pretty good in there.
Yeah, we tailgated for about 4 hours. It was freezing out there.
Yeah. Well, Philip, I think it's time to give away some tickets.
Yes.
I hope everybody is having a good time. You might be hating on us. You might be loving our picks. Either way, they're just what we think. We
12-4.
Hey,
that's
you can't be hating.
Come on, guys.
Wait, you've got like a 7-game win streak to end on.
I told you we're gonna. I said, bear with me at the early part. We're gonna figure things out. Defense. Marinelli's gonna get our defense ready to go. We're gonna run the ball in December and close out strong.
All right.
And win the Super Bowl.
The winner of the Cowboys tickets going to the Houston Texans game here in Arlington, Texas. Phil, can I get a drum roll? Anything?
Okay, but Matt, why don't you tell them whose seats these are?
These are actually section 218. I'm giving up my seats for all you viewers out there.
Season tickets. Yeah.
I'm giving up my season tickets. Section 218, row 2. You're going to be right up on there. Seats 13 and 14. And let me say why we're giving these to this individual right here. He said we're going 16-0. I like the optimism there. 16-0. And then we're going to win the big show. So I feel like it's just good vibes to give it to somebody.
Well, yeah, I agree with him. I think we're gonna be a tough team at the end of the season and then roll into the playoffs. So big show. I'm not counting that out. Whoever that guy is, smart guy. We're just off a couple losses here and there.
So the big winner is Mr. Kevin Kinlaw. We will get congratulations. Woo-hoo! We will get in contact with you. You will have 2 seats. It's going to be next Thursday, September 1st. It's going to be awesome. You're going to have great seats to sit in there and watch the Cowboys play. That is the end of the live feed we got going today on Newsbag. I want to thank Phil again. He helped struggle me through this. He knows so much about the Cowboys. He helps me get through these. But make sure we're going to talk about a lot more on our podcast. Go to sportsoversurf.com. We've got articles. We got podcasts, everything. Check it out. Again, thanks to everybody at Newsbag. On the podcast, we're going to be talking about the Olympics, what's happened in the past week. We're also going to be talking about the Rangers because playoff time is coming for the Rangers, and you don't want to miss out on that. And also, we've been drinking a little bit of Texas Ale Project beer. Feels a little bit empty. I got a refill. While you were talking, I
had the
refill.
Fire Ant Funeral. That stuff, Fire Ant Funeral was so good. I needed more, and no one came and got me a beer.
And John, actually, he's the producer. He got us another beer to try on the podcast. So we're having this one for the show, and then we've got another one for the podcast. So hear about that. It's a great brewery. It's here local in Dallas. You're going to love it. Phil, you got anything left to say to our viewers?
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? So, woo!